Jai Mohanji, we will continue to read the numerous stories from chapter 10. Welcome all. Hope everybody is doing well with the grace of Mohanji. So the last story we did was stick exercises. We'll move on to the next story. The subtitle is Mohanji fixes the live connection on my television set. Guru Purnima 2022 was just round the corner and a YouTube live event had been announced well ahead of time. I had eagerly been waiting for the same. At last the day came and we switched on the television well before time. There was some delay in the cast due to some technical issue at the host end. We had been patiently waiting, eyes glued to the screen. The short delay now was getting longer and the communication to the updates of the program also eventually stopped. We became anxious. My husband began doing checks for any issues on our end. I was not keen on fidgeting with stuff and would rather continue to wait patiently. The driving force behind my thought process were not to compromise even a bit on Mohanji's live presence. I couldn't hold on to stop my husband from interfering. He is inclined to sort technical things, which he often does really well. In all the midst of fidgeting with things, the live telecast began already. I could see it playing on my phone, my personal backup gadget. My husband knows how important it was for me, so he just left the video playing from wherever it had been playing. What we watched on TV had a slight lag from the real time. I was not feeling good about it, even if the lag was about a fraction of a second. To me, it was a lag, and a very disturbing lag. But I did not want to tell my husband anything because he was trying to be helpful and was already sorry about having disturbed the whole thing. Well, the video continued. Soon then Mohanji took a big pause. He came close to the screen and it seemed that he was fixing certain things on his computer. I intuitionally knew that Mohanji was fixing things for me and bringing himself back to life. Life is in inverted. This was such a thrill. My master can do anything. He is the source of all things. This experience is one of the starting experiences. I had only recently met Mohanji and was kind of trying to understand him and establish a connection. Next story, goalpost. Here is another similar incident that I can club together. Yet on another occasion, once again a live telecast of Mohanji's program was announced well ahead of time. Mohanji's presence, even if it were on Zoom, is no less than his physical presence. He has always given those effects. I bought the most beautiful and the freshest rose flowers to offer those to Mohanji when he arrives at the screen of our television set. The facilitator had introduced Mohanji and briefed what the program was about. The floor then fully given to Mohanji to address the seekers' urgent questions. The entire screen was now occupied by Mohanji. Together with my husband, I got up to offer flowers at Mohanji's lotus feet and welcome him to our home. We got nearer to the TV. We began offering flowers to Mohanji's image on the screen. When we startled to notice that the screen had now been turned to a shared screen mode with the questioner pinned on one half and Mohanji on the other half of the screen. The words that Mohanji spoke at this point in time as an answer to a question posed by a participant were, "By the time you realize you have reached, the goalpost would have shifted." Technically, Mohanji is talking about the spiritual path and how we need to keep upgrading ourselves in awareness, because by the time we feel we have reached a certain destination, we find the destination shifted to another position. These words applied in our context as well to the perfect nick in time. Let's recap the action sequence in slow motion one another time. The flowers from our hands have dropped but have not touched the base yet. In that secondary movement, Mohanji's image got shifted to one side of the screen and only then do the flowers fall to base. And because of the screen sharing, Mohanji got moved to one side and the flowers didn't get offered to him as intended. The goalpost shifted in a fraction of a second. Next story, doing things that expand you. I have mentioned earlier about getting our house whitewashed ahead of Mohanji's visit. We had been adding new elements of paints to feel a fresh vibrance in the home. We all can agree that most important piece of any venture takes a lot of thought process and usually is the last of all to get executed. One of the walls of our living room that is prominently visible to eyes as one enters the house, that also kinds of separates the living area from the rest of the house, is one such piece that took a lot of time and a lot of thought process to get it designed. It had to be designed in a special way because that was going to be the point of attraction to anybody. We came up with a plan. We could get the wall painted with pastel pink whitewash. Then, out of many available designs, we chose a stencil that could create a ribbon kind of an effect when repeatedly imprinted in a row. We then chose silver to be the color for the fill into the stencil. This would give the effect of a vertically suspended silver ribbon on either side of the wall. To enhance it with more dramatic effects, we thought of doing it in pairs. One pair of suspended silver ribbons on either side of the wall. To make it look more natural, we intentionally imprinted one ribbon a bit shorter than the other. The background was beautifully laid, a pink wall with silver ribbons on either side. A large size Mohanji's pictures or maybe two would occupy the central space between the ribbons. The wall was designed perfectly to stay as center of attraction for a long time to come. The experience that I wanted to share in this context is about my involvement in getting the stencil imprinted on the wall. The kind of stencil we had chosen was a bit of a challenge when it came to imprinting. It was a ribbon kind, so it had all the intricate curves and the twists. Secondly, the stencil had to be skillfully, repeatedly imprinted one below the other in a row. I couldn't completely depend on the painter workman we hired for doing this job. I got keen on personal involvement. I took the task on myself. I like to do things scientifically. I didn't want to depend on a judgmental approach when it came to aligning the ribbons in a straight line or, for that matter, positioning them rhythmically. I collected all the tools available: a ruler, a good sharpened pencil, measuring tape, a high stool, and more stuff, and got to work. I took perfect measurements to place the ribbons equidistant from the respective edges of the wall. I used the ruler and pencil to draw guidelines along which we can make the ribbon run. I took charge myself and I was holding the stencil, positioning it over and over again while the painter was doing the job of filling it up with silver. As a team, we worked together and the end result turned out very beautiful. It was the exact thing we wished. There is a video of Mohanji uploaded by M House Media on 19th October 2023. It is titled The Power of Self-Discovery. Student Talks with Mohanji, where Mohanji guides students on self-discovery. He says, education limits us. It sets boundaries. What you need to do is know yourself. In this lifetime, the best education is self-education. You need to know yourself. What am I? What are my aspirations? That means you should start feeling yourself. He further continues to say, expression to the highest order. You need to connect to yourself. You need to spend time with yourself. Feel, hey, what is this thing about? What will make you feel expanded? That's important. What makes you feel stable, expanded? That's important. Then you study accordingly. For example, imagine you like to paint. You like to paint. That's already in you. When you paint, you're feeling great. I have always felt Mohanji's presence in and around me in all my activities. His acknowledgement to this particular activity came from this video. He is specifically choosing painting activity to relate as an example. The video playing in my house while I am in the activity, the subtle vibrations emanated from Mohanji's words piercing into my innermost self are all indications that it's a communion with my dear master Mohanji. There won't be anything more unfortunate if it were to let pass as a mere coincidence. Deep contemplations from all these kinds of communions have always narrowed down to one absolute truth, and that is consciousness is all that is. That's again in inverted commas. Here's a beautiful picture again. Pink washed wall with decorative silver lining. So this is the wall you can see, and you can see the silver ribbon like paint impressions on both sides of the wall. So we have put one picture of Mohanji. One side is still blank, waiting for the picture, I mean, just picture has to come by itself. I know that. So till that time, the space is kept there. We can read one more story, etc. Pune. That's the subtitle. There is an interview of Mohanji with Anna Divak on her show. It is uploaded in segments on YouTube. The one in particular we are referring to is part 4 in the series uploaded on 14 January 2020. In this particular segment, Mohanji is answering the questions asked by the interviewer. What is the most important thing we can give to our kids? What's the best thing they can inherit from us? It's a long interview back and forth between the interviewer and Mohanji. I shall iterate a few of Mohanji's lines that are the crux of the matter, or lines that have relevance to the experience I'm about to share. In his reply, Mohanji speaks, I believe as parents, as good parents, what best inheritance you can give to a child is originality. Dare to be original. Being original means you are your highest possibility, highest of compassion, highest of kindness, highest of creativity. I feel that there should be much more counselors counseling children from the small class. Like for example, I was with a group of children in Delhi where we have Mohanji Ka Angan. 80 or 90 children, they are all from underprivileged thing. We have similar in few places. These are all Mohanji's words, okay? About in Jammu, in India, in Delhi, in Bangalore, etc. Pune. So many. These pockets. There are all children from laborers and they don't have exposure to education. Like these nomads, like wandering people, they don't have real education. Some of these children enter into stealing, pickpocketing, and also we try to give them some kind of support, orientation, so that they don't enter into in the society as criminals, so we help them. So one time, I don't visit them very often because of my travel. So one time, I went there, they were showing some dance to me. They were trying to make me happy. So this entire thing which I read now are Mohanji's words, not in an order but picked up lines as a referral point. So this Mohanji's talk has ended here and we are continuing to read the continuation of the story. Having read through my preceding experience, you now could possibly fathom how the specific examples or how the afterwords from Mohanji have the power to shift frequencies. The experience I'm about to share is from where is from when we were preparing a skit on Sai Baba to honor Mohanji during his visit. Mohanji's words spoken publicly at one point in time once again turned person specific words to me, an undoubtful personal address to me at another point in time perfectly aligned to the context. His words, so one time I went there, they were showing some dance to me. They were trying to make me happy, perfectly applied to our context. We were in the middle of practicing for the skit, and the intention, of course, was to make Mohanji happy. So we were preparing this skit, Sai Baba. We had arranged costumes and prepared a skit with our children, and we were presenting this to Mohanji when he was here visiting us here in Pune Center. So in middle of all this, we are hearing Mohanji's voice that they are preparing some dance to make me happy. So definitely we could connect the dots, and it was entirely suiting to the context which we were on. So these are definitely his acknowledgement coming. Another transformative line of Mohanji I would like to bring to your notice is we have similar in few places about in Jammu, in India, in Delhi, in Bangalore, etc. Pune. Now the phrase etc. period, full stop, Pune is a phrase worthy of being noted and contemplated. The speech of the sentence normally should finish at the word etc. But the further utterance of one single word Pune after etc. changes the whole chemistry and vibration of the sentence. Like he stopped at etc. We have centers in Delhi, in Bangalore, etc. Then he suddenly paused and he said Pune. The interview video was uploaded in Jan 2020. Our Pune center got established only in February 2023. We are preparing the skit in December 2023. Mohanji had spoken words of reference for me even before I was blessed to meet him and make a connection. The word Pune becomes the most important word and the essence of the entire sentence. The utterance of Pune as an afterword magically interprets Pune as the most loved and a dear center to Mohanji. Timelessness, thy name is Mohanji. So we have finished chapter 10. Thank you for joining me. Always stay blessed and join me again in my next episode, which will come very soon. Thank you. I'm enjoying reading with you guys. Thank you.